Good morning, beautiful. Thank you for joining me here today as I talk about my favorite 3 apps for managing your to-do list. Now, I don't know about you, but my to-do list can get out of control with all that I have going on sometimes. For example, right now, I have about 5 projects that are all completely different going on at one time. I've got the end of the month for the 365 project, which means we're wrapping up all of the office organization information and we're launching into the new month of creative storage solutions and maximizing your storage in those unique spaces. And then as well, I've got my administrative assistant and my scheduling assistant that I have to communicate with about what they are doing and what's going on with them. And on top of all of that, I have the end of spring break that we're just wrapping up. So we've tried to take a little bit of time off in order to do some family time and spend some good quality time together. Now, I don't know if you also can feel how all of that pressure is, because I'm sure that most of you probably have felt a little overwhelmed at times, and it's really hard to keep it all straight, isn't it? So what I do, I have my multiple tools that I find essential, especially in times like these, to keep me on track, and so I just don't miss anything because there's way too much going on too fast and coming at me. Now, the key to these tools are, 1, keep it simple. Do not get anything that has more bells and whistles than you really need. Keep it as simple as you can and keep your system within simple of how you use them. And another is be 100% consistent. What this means is if you decide that you're going to keep certain information in one place and other information in another, be consistent and always keep those types of information in those places. It's when you don't have a real plan or you change the plan midstream without really thinking it through and committing to the change and moving forward with the change, that's when it all falls apart and you can't find what you need when you need it. And really, organization is not about being perfect. I don't teach being perfect because, well, let's just admit it, I'm never going to get to perfect. My goal in life might be perfect, but I'm never going to actually reach that goal. I get a little better every day. And that's my whole concept as far as that goes. What organization is to me is it is efficient. It's finding what you need when you need it, and it's being comfortable in your space, being happy and smiling more wherever you're at in your home or office. So those are our goals, and these tools will hopefully get you a little bit closer to that perfect dream. Now, I'm Suzanna Kaye. I am the creator of the 365 project, which, if you've not heard about it, it is simple daily actions that will make your house more clutter-free, more organized and efficient, so easily that you'll swear it's magic. It is wonderful. It's perfect for maintaining, and it's perfect for getting it organized to begin with. Also, I'm owner of Spark Organizing. Spark Organizing does one-on-one organizing and productivity coaching throughout the Florida area. So if you're in Central Florida and you need one-on-one help in your home, we can help you with that. Now, jumping right into the tools. The first thing that you need to do, determine what your style is. Are you paper or digital? Or are you both? I'm both. I can't do just one or the other. I love digital. I do digital for almost everything in my life except for brainstorming, note-taking, and to-do lists. Those things, I need that paper in order to feel a little bit more connected and secure with it and to really be able to mentally grasp what's going on. So I have a combination system. Whether you're all digital, all paper, or combo, these can work for you. We'll talk a little bit about some of my paper lists that I enjoy at the very end as well. Finally, are you the type of person who absolutely loves the details, or are you in need of something a little bit more simple, streamlined, and fast-moving? So if you're a maintainer type and the details are something that you enjoy and you feel more secure with them, then you're going to probably latch a little bit more onto the more detailed app that I'm going to talk about today. If you are like me and very fast-paced, trying to move on to the next thing before you might even be done with the first thing, which is my constant struggle, I don't know if you can relate, And if you're the innovator type and you're constantly moving, then you probably need a simple system. Now, those complex systems probably seem great, all the bells and whistles, and setting them up might really be exciting to you, but the maintaining is where it falls apart. So avoid those if you're that personality type. Now, the top 3 apps and methods that I use to keep it together that we're going to talk about today. First off, we will talk about an app that specializes, for me, in complex detail management, the complex projects, and sharing of these tasks and projects. So I love its sharing capability and that it can manage some of those more complex tasks. The second app, it's really 2 apps that do pretty much the same thing depending on which platform you're on, is Simple and Quick. It's great for those really easy lists, the ones that you don't really need a whole lot of detail, but you need to go fast and move on. Then finally, I'm going to talk about an app that is great for those routines. And we all have routines that we need to keep up with, and they can vary whether it's weekly, daily, monthly. It can be a little bit challenging though to make sure that you've not missed anything in your routines. So I have an app that I use frequently for all of those recurring tasks that also can work with my energy, depending on what energy I have going on. Then finally, I will hop over and talk really quickly about some of my favorite ways to use paper lists and one of my really fun digital / paper list that I'm loving right now, and I think everyone should just check out because it's fun and useful as well. First off, I'm touching on the overview of some of these apps. I've talked about them more in depth on my course in lynda.com. So check it out. I have a course, it's called Managing To-Do Lists. We're going low tech today to see how this works. Managing To-Do Lists on lynda.com, Lynda.com. And on there I go into my top paper lists and my top digital list apps and how to use them, the examples, and I'll show you on the screen there. There's my link for the course if you wanted to check it out. App number 1. I told you, this is my go-to app for those complex tasks, the massive projects, and for communicating to my team. It's called ToDoist. So, let's show you the low-tech version here. That's what it looks like. It's on an Apple. It is on Android. It is also on the web. And pretty much there's a Mac app too. You can use it everywhere. And that's a really fantastic feature of it, the fact that it can be used across all the platforms. You don't have to worry about not having access at any point, which is so important when I have a lot going on, especially with my team. So with ToDoist, they are free for your first 80 projects, and you can share with up to 5 people. So the free version is probably all you need most of the time. The premium version, if you wanted to use all of the label features and the reminder features, which are super handy, and if you wanted some more complex communication with your team, such as comments and automatic backing up, then the premium is only $29 a year. So I don't talk about expensive apps on my courses usually because I don't want anybody to feel like they're excited about an app and then can't afford it. $29 a year, totally affordable. So go for that, but I would try the free one first and only upgrade if you feel like you need it. Now, within ToDoist, one of the things that I love is that you can share only specific projects. So you can have, for me, for example, I have a 365 project. I know that sounds weird. Project. Anyways, it's kind of a list. A project is basically a grouping of tasks within ToDoist. And I have one for 365 project. And within that, I have sub-projects. I can share just that project or sub-projects with my assistant. So a couple of my sub-projects have to do with the marketing of 365 and the technical side of it. Now, I admit, I might know a whole lot about apps, but when it comes to software or SEO or any of the technical back ends of sending out this daily email and managing a mastermind group, technical stuff might not be my forte. That is all my admin. She heads it up. I know the basics of it. So I need to share that list with her whenever I notice something that needs to be done or want to track something and assign it to her and delegate. We have a shared list within ToDoist. Now, that does not mean that she sees every list that I have, though. I have multiple projects that she never sees. I can control just which one she sees. Not only that, but I love what that premium version, it's only $29 a year that I pay, but she can comment on some of the tasks, and then I can reply. So she works from home a lot of the time. She's only in the office once a week, but we can communicate really easily with just comments on some of these tasks. She can ask me a question, she can give me an update, and I can quickly see where we are with all of those delegated tasks. And if you're delegating to people, half the battle is following up, right? It's so easy to forget to follow up. It's much simpler for her to just go in, put the updates in there, and then I can check on my own time without having to bother her. I try not to send her too many texts during like a weekend or a day off where I get stuck. It's a lot easier to just be able to hop in and view that. Also, with ToDoist, what I love, even if you're not sharing with somebody else, is that you can really break down those large projects. There is no way I could have ever done something as massive as 365 project without having all the tasks broken down into those minute, detailed little tasks, because it's simply overwhelming. A lot of times when you're getting overwhelmed by a task, a lot of times it's because it's way too broad still. You don't know all those little micro tasks. And this does it perfectly. So within your project, you can have all those sub-projects with the actions inside. It keeps it super organized. And then finally, you have those tags and labels. Some of my tags I use are like the time that it will take to complete the task. So this helps me out when I'm looking for, maybe I have 30 minutes before my next thing that I have to do, and I want to find a quick task. I don't even have to think about it. I just go to the tags, select 30 minutes, 15 minutes, and 5 minutes, and all of the tasks on there will be super short for me to do. That way I can quickly filter that list, see what I can do. You can also use it by location. So if I'm driving around and there's a task that needs to be done near where I'm going, I can have a location reminder pop up to tell me to do the task while I'm in that area. My brain does not have to hold on to where I'm at and what I have to do. And then finally, the tags that I use are batching. So with batching, I just write what the task type is. So I have a tag called phone calls. I have a tag called email. I have another tag called computer work, outside of the house work. This way, as I batch and I spend like that 1 hour of simply just computer work, so that my brain can stay in that mode, I can pull up all of the tasks that are labeled computer work, and those are the ones that I can work on. And then I can pick my top 3 within there and do the most important one first. So I'm always working on my highest priority. ToDoist is absolutely 100% my go-to favorite app for detailed, shareable project work. Next is the opposite. Now this app, everything that ToDoist is, it's the opposite. It is called Clear. In the App Store, they also sometimes call it Clear To-Dos lately. I guess they've updated their name. But Clear is by Real Mac for iOS. They also have a version by Colecat for Android. Now the Android version, not quite as good as the iOS version. So the alternative, Android actually has a really good native app for basic reminders. Just again, Colecat for Android, Real Mac for iOS, and it's called Clear. Everything that I talk about with Clear can pretty much also be done within that native reminders app because it's simple. The whole point of this one is the simplicity. It only does lists of lists. So what it looks like, and I can probably pull it up here for you. Now I've not done a sample list or anything on here, but I don't really keep anything too private on this one. I use this one more for all of those like books to read or shopping lists. A lot of times I have one for maybe the dollar store. If I need to stop by the dollar store, I can quickly pull up my list. Let's see if you can see a little bit. Where's the So these are all individual lists. The nice thing is within it, when I open up a list, you can see, and it's just quick swipe actions to add, to delete, to complete. It takes me seconds to add something to my list. I have packing lists on here. I have shopping lists. I have projects that I want to do around the house or craft projects. These are all of those really simple ones. Now they do have the features such as reminders, and they've tried to get slightly more complex, but thankfully they've stuck primarily to being really simple. So if you're the type that too many bells and whistles slow you down, like I am, then go for Clear or the native to-do reminders app on your phone. iPhone, I do use their reminders app for location reminders. That's another really nice one, where as I'm driving by somewhere, it'll pop up and give me that reminder, or when I go to or from a place. So just a heads up, native app for reminders, for the location reminders, native app on the Android, Clear for iOS. Finally, oh hi Ansel, I see that you joined us. Thank you so much, all the way from London. I hope that I'm not getting too far into your afternoon, evening. You're probably a little tired from your day. Thank you for taking time out for joining us. I'm glad, because you probably won't want to miss this one. This is probably my most unique app that is not marketed for to-dos. It's marketed for cleaning your house. And it's a fantastic app to help you keep your house cleaned if you're looking for that as well. But I have reworked it and I use it for my own work instead. On iOS, it's called Home Routines. On Android, they have a very similar app called Fly Helper by the Fly Lady. If any of you know Fly Lady, she teaches a lot about cleaning and keeping your home neat and some organizing. So Home Routines and Fly Helper. Now, the neat thing about this app is, like I said, it is made for keeping your home clean. And they clean in zones. I'm pulling it up for you right now. They clean in zones. So these zones, each week you work on a different area of your home. And you have a list within those zones of things to do. And it works with your energy level. So you can pick 15 minutes or 30 minutes and just work on whatever you feel like on that list within that zone, with the goal of, at the end of the week, you've completed everything in the zone. So working with my energy level, I think I've mentioned to you before, and I've heard many of you have said that you are so much like me, where working with your energy level really helps get more done and makes you feel better about your day. This is the way to do it. So within there, I can show you right now, I have this set up for work. And you probably can't see it too well. Yes, it is perfect for Spark 365 project, isn't it? Now, I don't know how well you can see it. There's a lot of glare. I should have shut the window. But you can probably see that I have various zones set up for the office. And each of these zones are set up to be completed for that week. And you can work within the list that's there. So my zone 1, the beginning of March, had to do with admin and personal development. These are all of the tasks that I want to do on a regular basis within those categories. So within there, you can see like there are run some CRM reports and finish reading, do some reading on a book about business growth. And I can just pick whichever one I am in the mood to do, with the goal of, by the end, I've done it all. That is perfect. If you have things to do once a month and you want to make sure that they all get done, then stick it in a zone and do it during that week, whenever your energy level tells you to. So just to give you some examples, like I mentioned, zone 1, admin and personal development. That would be things like filing and CRM reports and reading books to help me grow, or working on a course in order to expand my knowledge. Zone 2, I have virtual files and my project, whatever current project I might be working on. which was the 365 project. It still is 365 project work. So with my virtual files, that would include making sure to just drag over any files in my to file folder, making sure that they're all named correctly, purging anything that needs to be purged, emptying the trash, all of those things that have to do with digital files. And with my project, it's simply work that has to be done once a month on the project. For example, with 365, once a month I go through and make sure that it's only the subscribers who are still active that are within the program and that they have not run out of their subscription membership, following up with anybody who has been struggling so that they can get a personal message from me, answering questions that they might have had, and just reaching out and giving encouragement to people as much as I can. All of that is on top of the mastermind group that they already get, which that's on part of my weekly list, is making sure that that mastermind group has all the content that can be pre-done and that I'm checking in daily and answering those questions and going live once a week. My zone 3, correspondence and paper files. Zone 4 would be my physical space, I can say this, physical space and future planning. So physical space would be getting my office reorganized. Even with me, it gets crazy. Things move fast, so my office gets unorganized. Organize different parts of my office, and future planning. That's some of those great brainstorming sessions I can have, and really being strategic about where I'm going, making sure I'm going in the right direction. So those are my top zones. They also have, and you probably, it's not easy to see, but you can kind of see it, morning and evening routines. You got weekly tasks and monthly tasks. These are the good ones for if you're building new habits and you want to make sure to do something once a day, in the morning or the evening or once a week. These are some really good things to do, ways to set that up. So within home routines, or like I said, Android has Fly Helper. It's very similar. They have great, home routines has a great little FAQ and blog and support on how to use it. I'll post actually I already did post the home routines and the Fly Helper links, so that way you can see more about them. Fly Helper, you can also find it on flylady.net, is a little bit more information about that. Home routines is only $5, and it's a one-time, and Fly Helper is free. So I hope that you check those out. I would love to hear how you use yours. If you do work with some of these, then please let me know. And then finally, I mentioned we're going to step away from the apps for a minute. There are two things that I want to show you as far as my paper lists. Now, many of you know I believe in the bullet journal. The bullet journal is my one-stop shop for absolutely everything paper and tracking and daily in my life. I'm actually working with somebody a really good friend of mine, on putting together a book about how to quickly create and easily manage a bullet journal. And I've just had too many people who are find that it's life-changing. And part of my bullet journal, one of the essential parts, is my project brain dump. So this is sort of the paper version of my ToDoist app by project. And within my journal, I've got a whole section. So each project has its own list, and it just helps me to visualize what's going on and quickly see exactly what needs to be done. It also gives me that feeling of joy when I check things off. I don't know why, but like being able to check them off, I have been known, I don't know, have you ever done this? Have you written something on your list just so you could check it off? Like something you've already done. I totally do that. So I might have done something early in the morning and I want to make sure that I wrote it down so I can check it off. This allows me to do that and just feel that joy of checking something off of a list. It helps me by project. So just writing out your list, separating by project is great. So that way it's a little bit less confusing as far as the overall picture of things. And then put it in your bullet journal. Make sure that it's within your daily awareness. My journal has absolutely everything in it. It's got my tabs, and papers come in and out really, really easily. Oh, I'm so glad that you've done that too, Mary. Do you feel like it's made a difference? Because I know that it's made a difference for me. I'm glad to hear that I'm not the only one who's kind of list obsessed. And then as far as those lists though, a lot of times I leave my ideas and future plans and some of the stuff that I'm not working on right now, I still leave those in the digital. ToDoist has a lot of those future plans and great project ideas and projects that I'm not working on as much right now. And my paper lists are, these are the things that I'm focusing on right now. I will do it within the next week or two. So otherwise, this whole book would just be lists, and there's no way that I could figure out what was important within them. So just do what's current. Finally, there's a fun little, literally a little list called the Pocket Mod. Pocket Mod is a website, and you can find it online. I think it's pocketmod.com. I'll post the link. But it's a printable booklet. So, and it has little modules that you can just automatically pull in and then print it out every day. These are a few of them. So if you're the type like me who likes to just carry it around and have one list maybe for the week or the month, then Pocket Mod is a great thing. It's got, this is a little tip calculator in case of emergency if you have any medical issues. This is small enough to fit into your wallet usually. You can do your little to-do lists and brainstorming. You can do, they've got food diary, a checkbook, the little check register, and finance info. They even have a little folding guide. So you just fold it over and cut, one cut. And you get this little tiny book. They're actually revamping the site right now also. It still works, but they're making it even more robust and easier and better too. So keep an eye on Pocket Mod. I think that they're gonna do some big things, and it's a great way to just keep a quick to-do list in your purse without a whole lot of fuss. Yeah, they've got a bunch of different little printables that you can just pop right in. Now I will warn you, it does need Flash in order to operate. So all of you Mac users, you can just make sure to enable Flash for the site, and then it works perfectly fine. But you might need to hit that extra button to enable Flash. Yes, Pocket Mod is so fun, Mary. I'm glad that you saw that. Everybody does need like the little piece of paper, but if you have 200 Post-it notes, then good luck figuring out what's what and keeping them from getting lost. Now, Mary, I believe that you asked about the notebook that I was using with the removable paper. This is one of my favorite systems. Going back to this is called Circa, C-I-R-C-A, and a couple of different companies have it. Levenger's has it. I think Staples and Office Depot, I believe both of them have their own version of it. One might be called like Discus or something like that. I don't remember the name, but the nice thing about this is these are little discs, little round discs. And then I bought the hardcover. And for me, because I'm always changing out inspirational quotes, I just print up the quote and I tape it to it. So I got a clear cover so I can change it as I want. And then within, I use my own tabs, but these papers just come right out. You can see that the hole punch is kind of a different little hole punch because it's made to wrap around those little discs. And I've got both the travel and the regular hole punch because of course I use it so much. But let's see if I can show you how to do this. It's a lot easier when it's on your lap. But you just kind of click the paper in over the discs. And that way, I didn't do it a great job. When it's laying on a desk, it's super easy. But then you can move things around within the notebook. So I'm the type of person, I might have a little OCD when it comes to my bullet journal. I don't like blank papers between things, and I don't like running out of space in one section and having to change books because only one section's full and still having blank papers stuck in there. That is a great way to make me lose my mind. So this way, I never run out of space in my bullet journal. It's easy to refresh and add more pages whenever I need to. Now, to be fair, my bullet journal that I use is not the standard bullet journal. I don't archive things, so for me this is a little bit easier because I don't use the index, because I'm not going to look back at most of these things. And if I do want to look back at them, I just use my scanner app and scan them with a really solid file name so I can search them easily and find it that way. If you're the type that does use an index for a bullet journal, then you will probably want to make sure that your page numbers, if you're adding and subtracting pages, that your page numbers leave a good chunk between one section's page numbers and the next section, or start, maybe it's a section A with the numbers 1 through such and such, and then the next section is section B. And in the book I talk a lot more about how to do this in a non-standard bullet journal like I use. So yes, the discs come in different sizes for the amount of paper in the notebook. They also have different size covers, so you can have a little one if you want that's more of a quick grab, or you can have a nice big one like I have, because this is my everyday lists are here that I print up, and my little printable everyday lists. I have my restock, I have my bill payment, my habit counters, my social media tracking. Like, this is full on personalized bullet journal. Whatever I need it to be, it's all in here. So thank you for asking that question, Mary, because I forget to tell people about some of the things that I use sometimes. Well, I hope that these were interesting and helpful for you. Remember, you are not doing any worse than anybody else in the world. Sometimes we feel like everybody else has it together and we're just not quite there, and we don't want to get found out about how bad we're doing. It's not true. We're all kind of a hot mess, and it's just trying to keep it together, because no to-do list will ever be done. I can tell you that. There's always more lists, and there are always more things to add to them. You will always have more ideas than you will have time to do them, and that's okay. Drop them in your Todoist app for future ideas and let them go, and then come back when you have time. And if it doesn't fit on a Post-it note, it won't fit in your day. So all those people who seem like they do 5 million things in a day, they don't. They just pick the strategic priorities and really pound those out and make sure to hit those hard and complete those during the day. But if it doesn't fit in a Post-it, it's not fitting in your day. And it's not just you. Everybody feels like they're a bit behind and not getting as much done as they want. Also, know your top 3. Know which 3 priorities are going to move you the farthest forward, which of those tasks and actions are going to give you the most bang for your buck, and work on those primarily. It'll help you sleep better, and it'll also help you work on the most important things, get to your goals faster, and above all, it's the only way to really let go of all of those tasks you did not get done, because at least you know what you worked on was more important than what you missed. It's also the last few days to sign up for 365 Project. I know I mentioned it real fast. This month we did our office, and we had an action a day to get the entire office, including our paperwork, back in order. And these are super fast actions during the weekdays. They also have some concept days for you to catch up. Now, if you still want in on the office, you can still sign up. So hop over to my365project.com at the end of the month. We will send out a PDF of all of the tasks from the month that you missed out on, and you'll be able to hop into April before we start that one on the 1st. And April's going to be really fun. It's going to have all of those, you know, those Pinteresty ideas that you see, and the exciting, the tools and the products and the inspirations, all of that stuff on how to make each unique space a little bit more efficient, add more storage, and get past all of that overwhelm of I don't even know where to start with this awkward, strange space, or how to add more space in my house. That's April. It's all about those ideas, and it's going to be super fun. I'm excited. I'm glad that you're looking forward to it too, and I've just been loving writing about April. So join me on my365project.com. The price is also going to go up very soon, so hop on while it's still a little bit less expensive. And then every Thursday, I will still be here live at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ansel, that is 4 p.m. in London. I'll see you at 4 and at 5 for the mastermind for 365. and I'm Suzanna Kaye. You can reach me if you wanted to find out more about Spark Organizing at 321-234-5499. That is our main office number to schedule organizing around Central Florida, or check us out at sparkorganizing.com. Thanks so much, Mary. Thanks, Anselm. Everyone who stopped by, I look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same place, and we will talk about more apps that I find to be changing my life. I will see you then. Mwah. I love you.